bring up Alan Sessler, AP Sessler. Hey, Alan, thanks so much for being here. And this is actually his second year. Last year, you had kind of a similar film because you do everything yourself, all of the animation, you're a composer. So, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I guess I'm a storyteller at heart, and so I try to incorporate all the different things I love about storytelling, especially filmmaking, which is visuals, music, storytelling. So really, I just try to throw all my love for all that into each project. So.
Nice. So when did you get started doing this? Were you young and just started slow, or as an adult, did you really just like this is your spare time, feel good project, or?
Well, it's definitely spare time. Don't do this professionally, but it's just something I do for fun. I started drawing at the age 3, like I guess most kids probably start doing, drawing, tracing things out of the encyclopedia, and wanting to tell stories, but not really knowing how, of course. You're a kid, you don't know what avenue to take, and not like we have all the neat, advances we have nowadays with computers and film schools everywhere. So basically, I thought I was going to be a video game maker, so I kind of pursued that for a while. But the whole time that I was trying to make games, I realized I really just wanted to tell stories. So games were kind of, the wrong direction for me to go in. So I finally wound up going back into storytelling. And so I started animating probably about 20 years ago, but I really didn't know what I was doing. And using old programs on the Commodore Amiga, if anyone remembers that thing. Deluxe Paint, that's how I started animating. And then eventually I got up, graduated to get in a PC like most normal people should. And started using a program called Anime Studio. Originally it was titled Moho, and then I guess some corporate exec thought it would sell more products if they named it Anime Studio. But the diehard fans still know it as Moho, and so eventually they turned it back into Moho again. But anyways, it's a really fun animation program, and so I use that to do all my work. Yeah.
So I know your film was 3 minutes long, but I also know that every second probably took you a long time to piece everything together and have all, the music sync with everything. So how long did it take you to make your 3-minute film?
Well, this one actually probably took about 2 months, which I guess for me is kind of fast. I started the sketches, which I have out there on the table if anyone wants them. The sketches actually I started probably around November, and but I didn't really want to commit to animating. I just thought I was, doodling, as people do. And I was still trying to tell a story, but with doodles. And finally, when the film festival, when you announced it this year, I was like, I should probably do this. I should probably go ahead and commit to animating it. So I got started on it probably around February or March, somewhere around there. And anyways, it took a couple months. So.
Nice. So what other projects are you working on now? Do you have other things going on at the same time?
Always, too many. I am a writer, so I'm always writing stories, novelettes, short stories, submitting to small presses here and there. But a project I'm working on now that is interesting, I met a artist. His name is Matt Fitz, and incredible artist. His style is really reminiscent of some of the old Hanna-Barbera stuff, if any of you love Johnny Quest and some of the old cartoons like that. And he does amazing background work and character work. And anyways, I animated a teaser for a book called Trade Your Coffin for a Gun, and by John Winery, Murr Winery, as he's called. And anyways, the artist loved it. I basically took his art and animated it. And he loved it so much, he connected with me and said, hey, let's work on something. So we're basically working on a little project now. Who knows when it'll see the light of day, but we're working on it. We're thinking of maybe doing sort of a web series based on this character that he's made. So. Oh, and I also wanted to give a shout out to the guy that did the voice for that, David Honig. He's also a small press author, and he really contributed that voice on the fly like 2 days before I was getting ready to submit this. I really needed someone to do the voice work, so I really wanted to give a shout out to David Honig.
Nice. In the past, you've done all of your own voice work. So were you just like, I need a little change here? So is it hard for you, being that you've always done all of your own work, to find somebody who can like fit your standards?
I suppose so. You know, when you do everything yourself, you kind of take the burden upon yourself, and it's nice to have other people want to help. I also guess I have to give a shout out to the dog, the voice, Kalua, you know, who did the whining. And no, I didn't harm the dog. I basically went to her and said, "Who's a good dog? Who's a good dog?" And she just started whining as dogs try to talk. And so I just took her little 1 second squeal and I turned it into all that, you know. So.
Awesome. Well, I wish you had brought her for, because we are doing our orange carpet meet and greet after our block of films here. Alan, thank you so much again for being here. Let's give it up for Alan, you guys.